Good morning, everybody, and a happy Friday morning to you. But big thank you to that one on Twitter for the above picture. And a big thank you to Meghan Markle Parody for the cover picture that you saw in the thumbnail. Somebody has to teach me how to make thumbnails, for the love of God. All right, I have 3 news stories that have just come out about, our duo. And then at the end, I have a recipe for you guys. I'm including the recipe and also a Tigger update for you for those who are not on Twitter. So let's jump in and cover it all, shall we? Let's go. To start with, another poem came in. I was not given permission to use their name, so I'm not going to. But once again, it's a fabulous poem. So here we go. The ginger-haired prince wanted to move. His old country hated him, and his new country too. He thought about Portugal with its private beaches that had been open to the public, but now just to elitists. For him and his wife, it is the perfect retreat to recoup from working that 1 hour a week. Welcome or not, it is their next grift. If Portugal hates them, just add its name to the list. All right, let's get on to our stories. To start off with, Despair has officially been released in paperback version, with the UK edition going to be released on October 24th. Now, remember, Penguin Random House announced the paperback edition over the summer, and they confirmed that, and I'm quoting, the contents of the book are unchanged, including what Harry wrote about his family. For Meg and Archie and Lily, and of course my mother, blah, blah, blah. What really happened here is usually when the paperbacks are released, there's extra information. But because the royal family was really smart and froze Harry out, he had no more information to add to the book. Interestingly enough, Mike Tyndall's book that he co-authored with Alex Payne and James Haskell is being released the same day. The title of it is The Good, the Bad, and the Rugby Unleashed. And this book gives an insight into the highs and lows of their podcast, friendship, and rugby. Makes you wonder if Harry got his idea for polo from Mike Tyndall because, he gave an insight, but instead of doing a Netflix docuseries, he put it in the book. So makes you wonder if he's, copying him. Now, in this book, Mike talks about joining the royal family, his marriage to Zara, and he made a dig at Meghan Markle, they're claiming, because he said, and I'm quoting, "Believe it or not, marrying into the royal family was pretty easy for me. They were always nice to me, and I was always nice to them. Simple, really." And then one of the co-authors, James Haskell, said that Omid Scobie is a, quote, very odd bloke. He wrote, "Royal fans can be mental. We all know the American royal fans are nuts, especially Scobieites." Let's move on now. Prince Harry's visa drug headache is not over yet. We know what happened. The Biden administration protected Harry and refused to release his information. But the Heritage Foundation has now submitted an application to vacate that ruling and unseal the private correspondence between DHS and the judge. Ooh, this could be ugly. What you're thinking about it now is that the Heritage Group is basically claiming that the Biden administration somehow influenced the judge. The biggest mistake that Harry made was talking about in The Spare his use of drugs, marijuana, cocaine, magic mushrooms, psychedelics. That was a big mistake. It could take a while to get into court. And what happens if Biden is not reelected and Trump ends up? And that leads into the next story. Now, in the meantime, it's being reported that Harry and Meghan are trying to come up with some backup plans because I think they're afraid that if Donald Trump takes the election, he's going to kick Harry the heck out of the United States. There's some talk that maybe that's why they're trying to get the house in Portugal now, because they might be out of the USA, or at least Harry will. Let's not forget that Trump has said multiple times he really liked the Queen, he really respected her, and he was disgusted by the way that Harry and Meghan treated her. And now these articles are saying that knowing the character of Trump, he's quite likely to want to do something which sorts of, like banging the fists on the table to establish his authority. And it would be a decision that would gain publicity for Trump to throw Harry, out of the United States. And they're saying, they wouldn't be surprised all of a sudden if he says, right, I'm sending Prince Harry out of here. It could happen. And the reason that he would use would be the drug issue, not the fact that Harry and Meghan have spoken out against him and have said horrible things. All right, this is the big story for today. Prince Harry, Harper's Bazaar, which is a very pro-Sussex rag, came out with the top 50 hottest men of all time, and Harry made 25 on the list. Now, I'm absolutely shocked that he even made the list, much less 25 out of 50, because let me tell you something. Wait till you see who he supposedly beat out as one of the slots. I'm just absolutely shocked. Okay, let's take a look at who he supposedly beat out. Now, some of these absolutely, they should be on the list, alive or deceased. Okay, so this is the list. Number 1, James Dean. Yeah, the man was a heartthrob. Number 2, Marlon Brando. Of course, when he was younger. The older one, forget it. Number 3, Cary Grant. Now, I can't go through them all of them, but there's Rock Hudson is in there and Paul Newman. You get down to 10 and you get to Richard Gere. You also got Steve McQueen, Robert Redford, Clint Eastwood. Then you've got Brad Pitt, Heath Ledger, who we know is gone. Denzel Washington is in there. George Clooney is in there. Leonardo DiCaprio is in there. John Stamos. I mean, you've got Pharrell Williams. These are all people, Lenny Kravitz, who beat out Prince Harry. Now, after Prince Harry, you have Ryan Gosling, Orlando Bloom, Ryan Reynolds. Like, Harry is better looking than Ryan Reynolds? I don't think so. Channing Tatum, Ryan Gosling? Come on. Hottie David Beckham was 39. Tell me that's not rigged. Sorry, guys, but that right there, I was like, no way in hell did Harry beat David Beckham and Henry Cavill, Superman, and Chris Hemsworth. Give me a break, guys. I mean, come on. Yeah, Harry the hottie. I don't think so. Not even close. Do not kid yourself. This was rigged, paid for, whatever you want to say. All right. Tigger update. He has returned home. In case you didn't see my earlier post, they called and told me that he was ready for pickup. So I went and they handed me a bag that had this fabulous thing with the paw prints and the Rainbow Bridge poem, and then this beautiful velvet bag. And when I opened it up, I pulled out a gorgeous wooden box with Tigger's name engraved on the top. And then they also sent an envelope with a certificate confirming that it was Tigger in the box. Then later on, I got a card in the mail. They were so wonderful. All the staff there signed the card and they mailed it to me. Such a nice touch. You know what I mean? Anyway, my son has now been reunited with his beloved cat and he's calmer. I'll say that. He's much calmer. All right, let's move on to our recipe. Hi guys, it is recipe time again. And this time you are getting my cauliflower mash. Now, I'm not doing riced cauliflower, but I don't do mashed potatoes because my husband is diabetic and so we try to do something without the carbs, something more healthy, okay? So I have steamed a head of cauliflower and I'm getting ready to take it out of the steamer and place it in the bowl. So you need a head of cauliflower and again, you steam it. I usually steam about 10 minutes. Now in the bowl, I put 3 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. That way, when you put the hot cauliflower on top, it helps it melt. Once again, I am not advocating any specific brand. I'm just saying, okay? All right. So you put the cauliflower in the bowl. So some stuff I measure, some stuff I don't. Now in here, I just have minced garlic. So I'm just going to grab a spoonful. I happen to love garlic. Boop. Then I use this Better Than Bouillon. This is the chicken stock, okay? And again, I take my spoon and I just do a big gob, just like that. Now, sometimes I like to put a little extra. Now, because you're using this, you don't want to use any salt because that is salty and it's going to make it salty. So you don't want to do that, okay? So the next thing you're going to put in is a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. And I'm gonna dump that in. All right, next thing you need is your immersion blender. Remember, we've talked about this immersion blender before. This is the best thing I ever bought. They have these on sale right now at Costco for like $40. So you push in the safety button, you hit the thing, and you start mixing it. And because you put the butter and the cream cheese in first so it could melt, this will be creamy. That's what it looks like when you're done with it. Now you can try it, and if you want to add some more butter or some more anything to it, you can, but you just try it. And it's delicious, and that is my husband in the background you hear yakking. And this is all that was left. It's really delicious, easy to make, and much healthier. By the way, you can use the stuff that's not real butter. You can use the low-fat cream cheese. There are ways you can cut even more calories if you want. All right, you guys, you know what to do. Hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. Go down into the description box. You'll find the link to video number 2. You don't want to miss it. Follow me over. Let's go.